from Boswell High School here just north of Fort Worth. Kit McConico, Grant Cole back with you. One game in the books, one to play, two tomorrow. The first one, well, it was very entertaining. The Austin Blacks on top of the visitors from Minnesota Metropolis. Blacks now one game away from taking the inaugural 2016-2015 Gold Cup. And Grant, we have to thank our sponsors making things possible. Glass Phillips and Murray, Mosquito Nix, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and Baylor Scott and White Sports Care. Big thanks to all of them for making this broadcast possible. Thanks to all of you joining us here on T5RDG. So pleased you could spend some time with us this weekend. Coming up next, it is the KC Blues and the host Dallas Reds. And Grant, what are your keys to the matchup in this one?
And there are also some injuries that are bringing them down. So they're going to have to overcome that. They're going to have to play to their depths. And the Reds, they have a similar kind of depths to the Austin Blacks. They're just not as experienced in their depth as the Blacks are. But they still have a lot of playing depth because they do run three sides, one in each division in the Red River Conference. The KC Blues have an enormous club structure, and they do a lot of work at the youth level, bringing up players. So they're gonna have some depth too, but it's just gonna be who in the end has the experience and the fitness. And I really think for the Reds that their fitness at 60 minutes is going to be just a tad better than the Blues. But you know, the Blues have been unpredictable at a couple points this season, at last season in the fall. So they could be they could have something for the Reds here.
And Grant, you've got to think if there's an advantage, it is to the Red River sides because they are in the midst of their season. The teams from the Midwest, last time they played a competitive match was back in this competition back in November. We saw that with Metropolis when I spoke with their head coach and their captain post-match. They both said, we're still trying to get back to 80 minutes of match fitness. We're not there yet. This is the first competitive match they played in some months, and you think it's going to be pretty similar for KC as well.
I do, and KC may have a little bit more time on the field and outside because of weather-related issue, but I do think that KC's still doesn't have the kind of time on the field that Dallas has. Dallas has been playing since January. I mean, they've had games every week except for last week since January, and they've played very well. And they've even been able to handle teams that, you know, were handling the Blacks a little bit stronger, such as when they played the Griffins. The Blacks had a hard time with the Griffins in their second match against the Griffins, but when the Griffins went to play Dallas for that second match, Dallas really they had their number that day. So Dallas, if they can keep that ball in their back line, attack into the wings, I think they're really going to be a team to beat today for KC Blues. Now, that being said, KC does have some speed outside, and you get that ball to Kendrick Scott, and Kendrick Scott is really he's able to turn that on and churn and burn. So he is a danger man for KC today.
A lot of similarities between these two sides. They were founded just 2 years apart. The Blues back in 1966. The Reds just 2 years later in 1968. Have very impressive resumes. But right now the question is, can anyone catch the Austin Blacks? Blacks with an emphatic victory earlier. Take a look at the starting lineups. There are the forwards for the Reds. You see Upton, McCray, Hopkins. The men up front, Struckman, Heron, along with Nielsen, Urin, and Chase.
And I want to say that one of the things that Dallas has going for them is this pack. They've got 6 guys in that pack who have been playing and starting almost every match this year so far. 5 guys, excuse me. And then they bring in Big Johnny Heron, Alex McCray, and then really Vince Chase coming in from playing football at SMU, and now he's playing rugby for the Dallas Reds. That's really going to be a lot of strength there. Hal Struckman, the infinity man. I mean, he is always there. So he's a danger man for sure.
And now the backs for the Reds: Slater, Colton, Holt, McDermott, And then you see the wings of Spencer Cameron and the fullback Campese.
And this is where Dallas is going to have to really concentrate on striking. Cameron and John Moore, the man they call Freddie Jet, they're really fast on the outside and they can really do some damage. Holt and McDermott, they're filling in for some guys who are normally there who are out injured. And McDermott, though, is really a guy who can see the field. He can attack, put the ball right where it needs to be, and if he's got Cameron or Moore on his right or left, and he can put him into space, it could spell trouble for the Blues.
Campese can fly the fullback, and now for Kansas City, we look at their forwards. See Beckman, Hoover, and Benami on that first line. The locks of Henry and Schwartz, and then Eftink, Saunders, the captain, and Elder, the number 8.
And you got to think that Saunders is really going to be the key here. The young man from the Northampton, UK, he's got a lot of rugby experience under his belt, 17 years of playing. You got to think that he's really going to be the guy they're going to turn to.
Now the backs for the Blues. You see them right there. Martin van der Woesthuizen, Mercer, Vice Captain Cummings, Weber, Murray, Scott, and Batty, as we are just seconds away from getting underway here at Boswell High School. Eagle Mountain, Saginaw ISD, just northwest of Fort Worth, and we are indeed underway. Game 2 of today's doubleheader. The Reds in, well, wouldn't you know it, red. The Blues in, well, blue, easy enough. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you. The first one, well, it started out, interestingly enough, Metropolis had the first try, but then the Blacks got things going, anticipating a more even matchup here between these two sides.
Referee Scott Greens has dinged the Blues for not releasing the tackle in contact. And Blake Bolton is going to make sure that goes to touch. But it does not. He doesn't find touch. And
Reds led by head coach Reese Ball. For the Blues, it is Marcus Valovalo. The Reds with a hometown crowd here in attendance. This championship third and fourth round, and originally intended to be played at Keller Sports Park, but due to the weather and that natural grass surface, unplayable. The Metroplex has been underwater, now playing here at Boswell. Again, our thanks to everyone in the Boswell Athletic Department and the Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD for taking us on such short notice. So the Reds with it, looking to move quickly, establishing something early here in the first half over the midfield stripe.
McDermott there.
And McDermott, the 13. Now going around is Upton. Upton, that big loose head prop. Grant, any advantages you see early in this for either side?
Well, I think that Dallas is going to do what they're doing here. They're going to punch with pick and jams, and then roll it out to their back lines and keep the phases going until they can make a break. And they've got numbers there.
All offloaded, cutting through to the far side, over, touchdown. And the try, that ball placed down over the try line, and the Reds on the board first, just 2.5 minutes in. So Heron takes it in. And good movement there. You talk about the phases, to be able to swing it out quickly. That was grounded over the try line.
Bolton slips through there. He finds Hopkins, as you can see. Hopkins finds Heron on the outside. Johnny Heron did very well to get that ball grounded quickly. Now Bolton, Zach Klump's out injured. He's got a broken toe, and he is usually the man that the Reds look to put their points on the board from the kick and tee. But Bolton has stepped in, and from what we've been told, he's been pretty steady this year. He looks to have the length. No flags are up, though.
Unable to convert, so just 5-0. The Reds able to get the try, but not able to pick up the 2 with the conversion. So they leave 2 on the field, but a 5-0 score early in this. And now we'll see if the Blues can throw a counter punch. It is the home side who struck first.
Restarts deep.
Fielded by the Reds, cutting back into traffic.
Again, second penalty on the Blues for not releasing in contact. And Scott Green will be keeping that in mind. There's a reason we call him the dealer.
I hope we don't see his cards just yet. A bit early for that. Did see a yellow card in the first match, but only 1.
And it was for an intentional knock-on, which is a cardable offense. A game management guy just says that they have to go to that for that reason.
So line out on the far side to the Reds. They send it into touch. McCray, the hooker. Looking, and that is up, knocked away, but eventually finding a Red, so they retained possession.
Chris Hopkins did well to gather that up.
Hopkins, that big tight head prop.
Referee Green sees no advantage gained by that possession from the Reds. There's a knock-on in the line out by the Blues, and he's going to give a scrummage to Dallas. And this should be a good first scrum for us to see who's going to try and establish dominance in the push.
First scrum of the match, similar. Talk about that front row for the Reds. Upton, McCray, Hopkins. For the Blues, Beckman, Hoover, and Benami.
And that Vince Chase at number 8 is an absolute beast for the Reds.
You mentioned the former SMU Mustang, played defensive end, did chase. Gives you an idea of his athletic capabilities. Now on the rugby pitch.
Oh, and with the fin.
There's Chase. Going forward, a big stiff arm.
He's going to be a handful today.
Size and speed for number 8. Getting early involvement in this one. Now moving quickly here to the near side. Dummied back. Reds a bit of time and room. Drugged down by behind. Good tackle from Cummings. Through the hands of Slater. Knocked on. That was Upton. Shows his hands. Does the big prop. On the far side. But unable to tightrope the sideline.
And it's quick throw it in the line out, and Blues are going to try and gain a little advantage by testing the back 3.
All the way back it goes. Campese fielded it. Here on the near side. Quickly. Just as quickly, Dallas back down the field. You see the speed of the side in red.
Definitely like to keep it going forward. And Vander Westhuizen is providing a lot of fast ball for Bolton.
Dallas representing the Red River. KC, the Midwest. As we said, KC, they haven't played a competitive match since November, so still trying to get their legs underneath them. But a good start here. No score, just 8 minutes in for the Blues, trailing 5-0. Dallas in midseason form. Looking again to offload it to Upton. Couldn't hang on, and now Blues with it. Talk about the speed of the Blues. Can they get it wide, use that speed? Into space, cutting it back. Cameron, and now finding himself with it was Upton. So Upton in the right place at the right time. That ball just kind of squirted out into the hands of big number 1.
But there was a side entry on the breakdown. Blues didn't gain any advantage from that. Kelly Mercer, kick finds touch about 15 meters downfield, and they're just inside the Reds' half.
We mentioned Chase, the number 8. 6'6", 260 pounds is the native of Irving.
He's a beast.
That is a large man. Talks about his transition from football to rugby, and it's just been an incredible experience. Loves the camaraderie. Line out one by the Blues.
Lloyd Saunders, captain, did well to take that one. A little bit off balance.
Green letting him play. The grubber kick down the line. Looking to run onto it is Dallas, but picked up by KC.
Vander West Usen's the only Red down there providing pressure.
Vander West Usen showing off his wheels.
And if the Reds are going to want to take advantage of any miscues by the Blues, they're going to have more players down there when they have a kick through like that.
KC just inside their own 22-meter line. You see that 20-yard line here on the field of Pioneer Stadium in Boswell High School. That is our 22-meter line. We're using the blue lines a bit wider, but still a narrow pitch by rugby standards, and something we saw in the first game, not having the ability to get it out as wide as a lot of these teams would like. Take a look at the replay there as Upton comes in to introduce himself. Upton at 6'1", at 285. That's I don't know if that's an introduction I want to make.
Reds with another side entry, and that's their second one of the game.
Into touch goes the kick. And line out coming now from the far side. Again, Scott Green, our referee, keeping a close eye on things early. KC will have the line out. So far, unable to really establish anything offensively are the Blues. The line out one, moving quickly here to the near side. Can they find some room? Cut inside.
That pass was a bit forward.
They're looking for Cody Weber, but as you said, pass has to be even or behind, obviously up to the referee's discretion.
You can see here, Cummings has the ball. If he wouldn't have had that stutter step, he probably could have got that ball to his man, Sean Murray, with Blake Beatty with a little bit more.
Yeah, great work by our camera crew as always. Thanks to those guys doing an absolutely fantastic job bringing you those images. Great replays, and you could see it right there that was clearly the correct call. And there is a blue down on the pitch, just on the other side of the 22-meter line, and now the training staff coming out to take a look.
That looks like Sean Murray.
We take the opportunity to remind you that Baylor Scott & White Sports Care, they are our official healthcare sponsor here. We thank them for their sponsorship. Doing such a wonderful job. The largest nonprofit health system in the Lone Star State. Years of experience, numerous awards to their name, and over 30 hospitals across the state. They deliver a complete and customized treatment plan for you and your loved ones. You can connect with physicians or the medical staff at Baylor Scott & White at baylorhealth.com/sportscare or simply call 1-800-4BAYLOR. Again, Baylor Scott & White Healthcare, the sports care division of Baylor Scott & White. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you here on T5 RDG. Special thanks to everyone involved in our production doing such a great job. And it has been a beautiful day. The sun has come out. The weather's been, all in all, it's been fantastic. Had a little drizzle this morning, but things clear for the time being. Temperature in the low 60s. Perfect day for rugby. Now the scrum to the Reds. Out it comes. Moving quickly. There was Colton. Still with the Reds, pressing forward. Blake Bolton, excuse me, the number 10. That fly half for the Reds, and back it goes. A mishandle, but able to retain possession.
Knock on call by Scott Green. Reds did a good job with a quick scrum the last time. That's the Blues' turn to see if they can get that ball out of this scrum quickly and make some impact in this game.
Got another look at that knock on. Good call by Scott Green, and now the scrum coming for KC. Talk about those KC backs. So far, we have yet to see Kendrick Scott, the speedster.
And Blues getting driven back there in that scrum, and Reds are getting they have pulled it down.
Yeah, the tight five of the Reds dominating that scrum right there and starting to make a mark on this. That is sent into touch the way of Scott, and that's about as close as he's seen to getting the ball in some time. So Grant seeming like a war of attrition early in this one. If you're KC, what do you need to do to get on the front foot?
You definitely need to get the ball down into Dallas's end, and you want to see if Campese, Moore, and Cameron can really handle any pressure, which means when you do kick it down to them, you got to speed up to them. Right now, the Blues have kicked it to Campese once, and they only sent one defender, and it's really with that kind of speed on either side of them, you really can't do that. You got to be a little bit more powerful with getting them on the backs of the foot. It's a knock on by the Kansas City Blues there, out of the line out, and Reds are going to get a scrum. And this is not what KC wants to see. This is inside the 22 attack now. This is where the Reds want to be. This is where the Blues have to really step up their defense, and this is going to be a test of what the Blues have brought to Dallas-Fort Worth this weekend.
Blues, the warmest temperatures they've seen in probably about 4 or 5 months here, and we saw that was a tough adjustment for Metropolis. Certainly colder in Minneapolis than in Kansas City, but both teams have not played competitively since November. Now Dallas around the side. Reds smell a try just about 10 meters out. Continuing to press. Right up the middle go the Reds. Nearing that try line. Oh, well defended by the Blues at the line. It over. Can the Reds ground it?
No, the Blues have pushed them out there.
Blues. Again, Dallas able to get in that territory, but unable to ground it, unable to pick up the try. And credit the Blues defense. They've been defending mightily early in this one, 18 minutes in, and another look here. Great work from
referee Green bringing it back to a 5-meter scrum for being held up.
Elder in there along with Vander Woesthuizen. Dallas moving quickly. And there is the signal. Try to the Reds. First 2 tries of the match going toward the host, Dallas Reds. Unable to convert after the first. We'll see if they can here. Take another look.
That's Chase, just driving through. And Chase, that's just all strength right there. Two players on him. He picks the ball up and just wheels his way into goal.
The former SMU Mustang tight end, and
Chris Slater desperately wanted to spin that wide and do something with it, but when he didn't get it out of there, Chase made something happen.
when you have that kind of strength, you might as well use it. Bolton splits the wickets. And again, a big thanks to all of our sponsors, Glass Phillips and Murray, Mosquito Nicks, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, and Baylor Scott and White Sports Care. Special thanks as they're able to make this broadcast possible. Welcome all of you joining us. And so far, it has been all Reds over the Blues, and you can see the difference in fitness levels in this one right now. And not just fitness levels, but you can see the team has been playing competitively of recent. For Dallas, it's just another day at the office.
Yeah, and you should have thought in the fall that Dallas and Austin would have had a little bit of issue there because they hadn't played any matches yet, but they showed no worse for wear, even though Dallas split the weekend 1-1 last time.
The third and fourth rounds of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship.
Struckman there. Austin gets a penalty, or Dallas gets a penalty for obstruction. The Blues are a little bit too far out to kick for post.
Well, the Blues, you see the Dallas penalty right there on the replay, and the Blues with it. Can they make something of it?
They're just going to run a penalty play. McDermott, the man cap for Hong Kong, kind of put a kink in there.
All the way back here on the near side. Into the hands of Campese. Campese, the fullback, comes down with it. Now Dallas sends it the other way.
Spencer Cameron. The difference there is the Blues kick downfield. Murray kicks downfield for the Blues and nobody chases. Spencer Cameron kicks downfield for the Reds, and the Reds have got at least 7 players down there when the Blues try to counterattack.
I'll see if that was a high tackle that was up around that shoulder region.
Well, Green didn't see the dangerous tackle, but he did see a knock on by the Blues, and that's what he was gaining advantage of.
Pressing forward, Urian.
Boogie Urian, man, he plays with some spirit. Oh,
there's a bit of that spirit from number 7 in red.
Hopkins brings Boogie under control.
Got to have the spirit, but you need to have somebody who can also keep you in check, as Hopkins did right there. Urian, the flanker from right here in Dallas. Now Slater to send it back in.
Now, instead of there being a line-out called, referee Green's going to come back to the advantage that wasn't gained by Dallas and give the scrum to them.
Dallas moving quickly like sharks, sensing blood, looking to add to this 12-0 lead, but KC back with it. Dallas unable to hold on.
John Moore was just a little ahead of Blake Bolton with the step there. You know, when you got a name like Freddie Jett, you've got to be able to judge what your timing is coming in at an angle. So, and he didn't judge it quite that well, knocked the ball on. Blues couldn't do anything with it. Now it's scrum to the Blues.
Just over 16 minutes remaining in the first half. It has been all Reds. We saw the war of attrition taking its toll on Metropolis in our first game against Austin. You could certainly see the team that had been playing recently. Austin able to play the full 80, even down 2 men at one point. Won a scrum with 6 men, did the Blacks. Everything going their way as they conceded the first try, and right now, kind of the same for their Lone Star State foes here, the Reds of Dallas.
Green calls for his time as Hopkins is helped up.
Back to the scrum we go. KC with it. Slater, but the whistle blew.
Referee Green says that the Blues were boring, coming in at an angle in the front row.
And you take another look right there, you can see it. A few mental errors for the Blues. You may attribute that to having not played competitively recently.
$7 prize for Matt Picato and nice team.
It appears that the Blues are going to make a change.
Not quite sure what Green is calling here, but he's taking it to a scrum back to where the Blues had it.
The Blues with yet another scrum. When you take a look at the benches, Dallas much deeper are the reserves for the Reds than the Blues, and that's one thing that will certainly play a role as we get into the second half.
One of the things the Reds are doing, as I said before, is they're deepening their rosters by fielding 3 divisions worth of teams, a Division I, which you see here, a Division II team, which is basically the second team, and also a Division team in their Division III that plays competitively.
That's one thing their head coach, Marcus Valavalo, has said. Asking him about their success, he goes, we're deeper than we've ever been. We have those Division I, 2, and 3 teams, and that just makes all the difference.
Knock on by the Reds there.
Just outside the 22-meter line. All the possession has been in the KC end.
Kansas City's already got a substitution coming as Kendrick Scott steps off the field.
You mentioned Scott, that left wing with speed for days. Didn't get to see him show it off.
No.
Trying to go through was Slater. Dallas doing a good job of regrouping defensively. Everyone back. Now KC spinning it. Tried to get it out wide. Oh, what a tackle. That was emphatic right there.
Gus Holt met Cummings and said, welcome to Dallas-Fort Worth, son.
That was a heck of an introduction right there. I don't know if that was the welcome he was looking for.
It's at Texas hospitality, right?
All the way back to Campese. Campese the other way. Bit of space here on the near side. Closed down immediately. The maul ensues. Still on their feet, now going to ground.
We've done well to maintain possession. It's Vander West using out to Mercer.
Slater here to the near side. The little grubber kick on the turf, but picked up in the hands of Moore. Just shy of midfield. So the Reds with it. 10.5 remaining until the half. Another look at the replay. Wind in the face of Dallas. Slight wind going from left to right across your screen. The Reds with the line out. Trying to get it to the wide areas. Back it goes, big collision that time. Urian bowling forward. Oh, and able to hold on, knock on, but into the hands of the Blues it went.
Nilsson looked like he was passing to Blues player at that point.
Yeah, Nilsson.
Not sure he wanted to do that.
I don't think that was what he intended, if I had to guess. You see it right there, just off his left wrist. It went perfectly into the opponent's grasp. Another Blues scrum. So far, the Blues unable to get out of their own end.
Again, when they do kick the ball down into the Reds' territory, they're not following up with a lot of chase.
Dallas is their pack pushing the Blues back.
Yes, but Slater there was offsides. That gave the ball up. Blues can kick the touch, maybe get down in the Reds' end if they get a decent boot out of this, and not much of a decent one at all. They're just at midfield.
And Grant, even from up here, you can see the difference in the size of that front row from Dallas and the Reds. You look at Upton, McCray, and Hopkins. Those are three very large men.
The tight five altogether. I mean, Heron and Struckman are not small fellas either. So
Heron at 6'7", 250 is the native of Belfast, Northern Ireland. I think that qualifies as not small. Struckman, 6'7", 280.
and you see the age on Struckman.
Struckman, 44 years young, is the lock from Arkansas, the former Arkansas Razorback. Struckman's claim to rugby fame, he got to meet and discuss rugby with former President George W. Bush. Pretty cool thing. Now the Reds. Oh, that pass off the mark. Now Blues the other way, but as you mentioned, no one chasing except for Moore.
Yeah, Murray's the only one chasing for the Blues, and
Excuse me, rather.
that's a bit overcooked, and that's going to go out on the full. He was over the 22 by that point, and Spencer Cameron is going to he wanted to put that one a little bit farther downfield and not into touch. So this is the Blues get a bit of a respite here. And
they're going to have to make looks like they may have to make an injury substitution as well.
And that's Murray going off. So now both of the Blues wings are off the field and replaced. Murray's not quite gone off. He's just gone over to the side. They're going to try and tape him up here and get him back out there.
Well, Scott came off, and as you said, the other wing, the right wing, Murray, may come off as well.
They've got him just inside of touch, getting taped up.
That would be a huge loss to a Kansas City squad that has a very short bench. Sun coming out, heating things up, just shy of 70 degrees, and I think for the Reds, they'll take it up around 90.
Holt again with a hammering tackle. Oh.
Moved quickly. Vander Westhuizen. First time in some time, the Blues in Dallas territory. Unable to hold on to it. Ball on the turf. Intelligently kicked forward. Who will get to it first?
And quick in to Hal Struckman. And you've got to do more than that to keep Struckman from going forward.
Yeah, good heads-up play there from Bolton. Got the restart, played it quickly to Struckman. Now Dallas with some room on the far side. Going forward.
And there's a penalty there to the Reds in front of the post. Offsides by the Blues.
Well, just inside the 22-meter line.
And if you're Blake Bolton, this has got to be a moment where you just say, I'm going to take post, give my guys a breather for about 90 seconds.
I was about to say, what do you think the Reds are going to do with this one? And well, Bolton.
And the T's coming out for him.
He will take this, no problem. So Bolton lining it up. Can he make it a 15-0 lead? Under 5 remaining in the first half. Up and through is the kick by Bolton, and Dallas extends their lead.
You've been watching here on the left side when the Reds attack. McDermott's been probing a little bit here and there on the Blues defense to see where they're weak at. And he's had a couple of moments where he's moved the ball in or out, depending on what he sees. And I think here in the next few minutes, we're going to see McDermott put the ball where he thinks it can strike the most for, whether it's to John Moore, Freddie Jett, or back inside where Boogie usually comes on for him. And we're going to see just exactly what the Reds have there.
Bolton, that fly half from Sydney, Australia, true. Puts his side up 15-0. Again, big thanks to all of our sponsors. You saw them just moments ago. Doing such a great job here. Live from Pioneer Stadium on the campus of Boswell High School, the Eagle Mountain Saginaw Independent School District. So I don't see if that goes the requisite 10 yards and just over, maybe 10 and a half.
The Blues got the tap, but Johnny Herron got the pickup.
The Reds back with it. Can they add to their lead before half? Right now, the Blues, I think the men in blue and white looking for that halftime break to regroup. Marcus Valavalo is going to want to have a chat with his side.
Slater almost picked that one up and took off with it.
Opportunity, beautiful ball here to the near side into the hands.
Blake Beatty.
Beatty. Dallas back with it, takes it away, do the Reds.
No advantage was gained there. The knock on by Blue, and Reds are going to get a scrummage there. And all that work that the Flower Mound native Beatty did, goes for naught.
That's the whole thing right there, just when it looked like things were looking up for the team from Kansas City. Just 10 yards from the try line, but unable to come up with anything. Still have yet to put points on the board, have the Blues, and they're going to make a few changes.
Now, the original knock on you saw was Green called it going to Dallas's way, but he had a discussion with his AR, and looks like the ball is going to be, the put in is going to be to KC.
So Parkenstrudel, number 18 on his back, coming in for the Blues. In on the scrum, can he help his side win it? get something out of this possession. Mercer quickly going forward. Blues keeping things inside right now, met by a stiff Dallas defense. Good tackling by the Reds. They come up with it yet again. And into touch goes the kick. Dallas just has a knack of coming up with that ball when it's about 10 yards from the try line. They're able to get those turnovers, and right now that's got to be absolutely devastating to Kansas City.
Kansas City bringing a lot of substitutions on early. That's going to hurt down the road. I mean, you've got Ed Mills in already. Jaden Lang's in already. They've got looks like one of the Clark fellas are in already. It's and even Sean Murray's still limping around. So
we mentioned in the pregame, these Midwest squads in Metropolis and KC Blues, they haven't played outdoors at all. All their training has been indoors, and things starting to warm up today.
It's hot and it's humid, so you've got this 70-plus degrees. There's Lang there with a nice angle. He gets a few meters out of it.
Into the hands of Weber. Weber.
Beatty with a nice tap pass.
Vander Westhuizen quickly. Mercer now.
Struckman on the head of Lang.
Trying to find some space, and they do on the far side, do the Blues. Unable to stay in bounds. Good tackle by the Reds.
Lloyd Saunders with a good run there, showing exactly why he's the captain.
Yeah, that open side flanker and the captain. A line out to Kansas City.
Spencer Cameron with the try-saving tackle there. That's what the Reds needed. They don't need to be given any momentum away.
Looking to keep the scoreline as it currently stands, going into half. Ball on the turf.
A lot of bobbling around.
There's some ball handling errors, and you might expect. And there is the whistle. First half in the books. 15-0 in favor of the Reds over the Blues from Kansas City. Live from Boswell High School here in Fort Worth, Texas. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you. And Grant, take the opportunity to thank one of our big sponsors, Mosquito Nix.
Yeah, the Gold Cup is sponsored by our friends at Mosquito Nix, the national leader in mosquito control. Mosquito Nix offers custom systems, ongoing treatments, and do-it-yourself solutions to eliminate flying, biting insects such as mosquitoes, flies, the no-see-ums, fleas, ticks, and much more. Mosquito Nix is protecting outdoor lifestyles anytime, anywhere. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Find a location near you at mosquitonix.com or call 972-934-2000 for a free estimate and to learn more.
First half in the books. Grant, your analysis of the first 40 minutes.
Well, both teams just trying to find their stride. Dallas really hasn't yet. They play a lot better, and a lot of this is many of these players are. This is their, with the exception of the Pack, this is their first time playing a full game together. So many injuries out with Dallas and so many pro contracts out. I mean, they've got 8 players and normal starters on their side that are not here today, but they're trying to find that stride. And Bolton and McDermott are really working it. They know they want to get the ball out to Cameron and Moore, let them go. But their forwards are really owning the game. Their forwards are maintaining that possession, getting the possession in the breakdown, doing the pick and rolls until they can move the ball out, and that's where Dallas is owning it. KC, they're trying to get the ball out of their end of the field a lot, but they're just not backing that up. They kick the ball downfield and no chase to follow it except for maybe one player. That's going to hurt them down the road, especially once fitness becomes an issue later on in the game. They can't be doing that and expect to win.
Second game of the day in the inaugural Gold Cup Rugby Championship here on T5 RDG. We will take a break for half. Dallas leads KC 15-0 at the half. Echo, Grant Cole with you. 15-0 in favor of the host Dallas Reds over the KC Blues. And Grant, before we get to the second half, your keys for both sides.
Well, from both sides, I think it's just going to be how are we going to hydration, how are you going to stay hydrated. It's humid out there. It's 70-plus degrees, and you've got one team that hasn't been playing and one team that has been playing in this weather, and it's just who is going to be able to weather that.
Well, to the second half we go, just moments away. We take a look back at the field. The Reds will be kicking things off to get started, and again, big thanks to all of our sponsors, all of their help. Mosquito Nix, Baylor Scott and White Healthcare,
Glass, Phillips and Murray, Dallas Law Firm, and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Can't forget PBR. 15-0 in favor of the Reds. Temperature just above 70 degrees, and for a team from Kansas City that has not played outdoors since November, hot and humid are the conditions here in the Metroplex. Fitness is going to be a huge issue. The Dallas Reds on the front foot again to start the second half of play.
Though releasing the ball at the contact, and the Blues are going to get it. You know, the Reds are really going to have to set a pace here if they want to wear the Blues down quickly. And, you know, if the first 10 minutes are the Reds driving ahead, keeping the Blues in the back fifth, this could be a one-way sprint fest.
Scott Green is our referee, the man clad in black down on the pitch here at Pioneer Stadium, the campus of Boswell High School. Again, special thanks to our host in the Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD School District. Nice enough to have us here on short notice. This tournament originally scheduled to be played at Keller Sports Park, but due to the deluge of rain this week in the Metroplex, we are here on this turf field. The Reds looking to add to their lead.
Johnny Herron stealing that line out.
Kind of similar to what we saw in the first game, I should say. The Blacks of Austin went down 7-0 to Metropolis, and then the beast was woken. They will be back in action tomorrow. Reminder, we have 2 more games tomorrow here in the Rugby Gold Cup Championship, 11 and 1 Central Time. Hope you'll join us for those as well on T5 RDG. Already starting to see a few hands on hips, hands on knees from both sides. We mentioned the reserves, a much deeper bench for the Reds, and that will certainly come into play. Little kick finding itself all the way back into the hands of Campese. Campese, the fullback.
Green's calling for his time here. Glass, Phillips and Murray is a Dallas law firm providing a full range of legal services. GPM's lawyers represent claims in business transactions and litigation, as well as family law, estate planning, bankruptcy, intellectual property, and tax planning matters. Visit GPM's website at gpm-law.com. That's gpm-law.com. Glass, Phillips and Murray. Excellence with a cost-effective result.
Scott Green having a conversation with the 2 captains of each respective side.
He's dinged the Reds for a shoulder charge and had a discussion with the captains about the chippiness.
We've heard a few words on the pitch, and this game's starting to get a bit more physical, a bit more chippy, as you mentioned.
And that's going to happen when you've got fitness wearing down, heat bearing down. You're going to have that chippiness come up. Not everybody's feeling great.
Well, we showed up this morning. It was overcast and drizzling. Temperature in the high 50s. Right now, it is bright and sunny, 70 degrees. What a difference a few hours can make. Line out to the Blues, looking to get things going quickly. Sent out by Mercer.
Jim F. take with a great take by the Blues. In control of the lineouts. Grubber through there by Mercer.
Sent back the other way by the Reds.
And see, this time the Reds didn't come up with a lot of pressure on the kick.
Beatty here to the near side, in the hands of Weber. Into Reds territory. That is not somewhere the Blues have been often this afternoon. Back with Mercer. Mercer dumps it off.
The trick for the Blues is going to be sustaining this pressure that they're putting on the Reds right now through more than just this set of phases.
Mercer quickly into the hands of Mills. Mills, big man, number 22 on his back, and now back with Weber. They were looking, trying to get it out that time. Credit Dallas, that slide defense moving quickly here to the near side, not giving them any room.
Vander Westhuizen's come off the field for KC Blues, and they brought on James Clark to scrum half.
The Blues with a big opportunity, just about 10 meters out. Can they find their first try? So the Blues with some momentum. Dallas on the back foot defensively, somewhere they have rarely been in this match, and now the kick coming for the Blues. Can they get on the board? Clark to take it.
Looks like Mercer's called for the tee. And if he can raise the sticks, this is going to be a very important 3 points for KC Blues. They need it more for morale at this moment than to really get it, so they can get some momentum going.
They've got to get back into this one bit by bit, kick by kick, try by try, and this would be a great start if they're indeed able to put this one between the goalposts. Kelly Mercer, the St. Louis, Missouri native, up and good, and the Blues are on the board.
Kelly Mercer, Kansas City Blues, puts 3 points on the board.
Just about 6 minutes into the second half. The Blues on the board for the first time. Again, a big thanks to Glass Phillips, Murray, Mosquito Nix, Baylor Scott and White Sports Care, and Pabst Blue Ribbon, our sponsors for the inaugural Gold Cup Rugby Championship. Oh, taken masterfully by the Reds.
John Moore got up there, got in front of the ball, put his body on the line.
Moore elevating, knew he was going to come into some contact, but still came down with the ball. Dallas bowling forward, straight ahead over the 22-meter line, go the Reds. Oh, Green taken down was the referee. Hazards of the profession.
Little leg whip from Slater there as he was being tackled.
Dallas really moving quickly here. They are not happy conceding those first points to the Blues. They're looking to get back, trying to put some more on their side. Offloaded inside, big rumble.
That's Hal Struckman there.
Struckman is a force, difficult to take down. Offloaded at the line, over.
Heron's in for his brace.
And Heron, second try of the game for the big man.
Big Red, Johnny Heron.
And Johnny Big Red Heron, the nickname pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory. It's either he's big or he's got a big shock of red hair up there. Either way.
Maybe both in that case. Heron, beautiful work, just going right through the heart of that Blues defense. Dallas back on top. Now we'll see if they can convert. Bolton has been very good in the kicking game. Wind at his back.
You see here from the kickoff, from the restart. Johnny Moore just speeds up, gets under it, puts his body up in the air, and he's got possession. Bolton's kick has the sticks up.
And the kick is good.
bringing the score to 22-3 Dallas.
The conversion up and good.
22-3.
Dallas now back up, 19-point lead, just over 30 minutes remaining in this one. But credit Dallas, what a answer. KC came down, put their first points of the game on the board, I should say, and Dallas just emphatic in their response, coming all the way down. Big Red Heron with the try, his second of the match. So Mercer to kick it off for the Blues.
Heron claims to be a brewmaster. Imagine that, an Irish lock, loves beer.
I've never heard any such thing. It's got to be a first in the rugby world. Into touch goes the kick.
Bolton found that one beautifully. Just cooked it enough to put it in field of play and then bounce right into touch deftly.
Bolton having a very impressive outing here, really starting to play well, finding his stride.
The Blues back three were just a little lazy on that one. They could have played where in position more, sped up, maintained that ball, and took off with it.
We mentioned Struckman before, 44 years young. He's playing inspired. Oh, what a collision there. Stays with the Blues.
And the dealer is out.
And there it is. Scott Green, our referee known as the dealer, and for the first time today shows us his cards.
That's the second shoulder charge he's seen, and this one from Colin Boogie Yarian. And KC Blues need to do something with the next 10 minutes to make it count.
Talk about all these nicknames, Big Red, Boogie, the Jet, and Grant, I have to ask you, what was your rugby nickname?
Coach.
Pretty simple.
The rest of them I don't think we can say on air.
They are not they are not for the young ears or the faint of heart. We will we'll leave that up to the imagination, we'll say.
Yeah, I'm sure there's several of my old players out there laughing right now and letting me know what my nickname really was.
Oh, good phases here. Oh, to the far side. Blues unable to keep it in bounds. Got a foot on the sideline.
Weber just barely put a foot in, and if he would have backed himself and just gone straight there, he might have been able to beat his man on the defense and got back into the Dallas back three to see what exactly Campese can do on defense.
Well, we take another look here. Just beautiful passing out. There's Weber, but unable to tightrope the sideline. And Grant, we spoke about this narrow pitch here at Boswell High School, Pioneer Stadium, and there's a byproduct of that, not the width that a lot of these teams are used to.
No, but seriously, on a narrow field like this, the biggest thing to do is just run straight. The more you run straight, the easier it's going to be to tighten up the defense. And Chris Hopkins coughs it up there and gives possession to the Blues.
Over the top goes the kick. Into touch.
And that touch, that's going to go out on the full kit. You know, he wasn't behind the 22. It went straight into touch. It's going to the line out's going to be to the Reds from right where he kicked it out.
So the Reds, I should say, good position here for the line out. No, I believe they're going to.
Let's see what Scott Green saw here. I think he saw a knock on by the Reds before that happened, so he's going to give advantage to the Blues, let them have a scrum here.
Just under 15 minutes having elapsed in the second half. Still a 22-3 lead for Dallas over Kansas City.
Ed Mills with a nice take. He was a little bit forward, and then he lost the ball forward. Advantage is to Dallas right now. They seem to have won that advantage. Slater bounces another pass, so does Bolton. McDermott's got to clean it up. Here, numbers out there.
Dallas, oh, that pass well behind DiMartino. Sal DiMartino had some space looking to go for a run. Excuse me, I believe that was Cameron. Cameron with the number 20 on his back, looking at the wrong roster. My apologies, but Cameron unable to find the pass.
Cameron was just a little bit ahead of where that pass was going to be at. Campese was listening for his man, but he didn't quite do the look pass that he's supposed to do there.
Line out to KC, looking to get things going quickly. Clark.
Clean take by Saunders. Again, he's been the consistent man for Kansas City in the lineout.
Fans, we remind you we will have 2 games on tap tomorrow at 11 a.m. It will be the same Reds of Dallas Rugby Football Club taking on Metropolis from Minneapolis. And then our 4th and final game of the weekend will feature the Blacks of Austin against the KC Blues at 1 p.m. Hope you'll join us for both of those. The Blacks the opportunity to take home this inaugural Gold Cup championship. Halfway there is Austin's side.
Cameron did well to keep that in possession and in touch. He was inches from being in touch and losing possession. And KC with numbers on the outside and a bobbled pass.
Oh, the Blues now over the 22-meter line. But as you said, a big opportunity squandered. Is still with it. Can they get something? Cutting back in, but no, a foot on the sideline yet again by the Blues. And there's a red down on the pitch at the 25-yard line. Here comes the training staff. And well, with that, we remind you that Baylor Scott and White Sports Care is our official sports care sponsor. Big thanks to them, the largest nonprofit health system in the Lone Star State. Years of experience, quality awards in over 30 hospitals here in the state of Texas. They deliver complete and customized treatment for you and your loved ones. You can contact them at BaylorHealth.com/sportscare or call 1-800-4BAYLOR. That is Mr. Campese, Andrew Campese, the fullback down on the pitch for Dallas. Also like to thank Mosquito Nicks, one of our sponsors, does such a wonderful job. They offer custom systems and ongoing treatments, do-it-yourself solutions for all of your flying, biting insects. Mosquito Nicks, protecting outdoor lifestyles anytime, anywhere, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And as the spring and summer months come here in the state of Texas, well, that's something that we all know and not love, but something we're all aware of is the mosquitoes.
We also want to let you know that there is the Boswell Rugby Best of the Southwest Youth Rugby Tournament coming up on June 11th and 12th right here at Boswell High School. Boswell High School has this field plus 3 others that have goalposts already on them, ready to play. They have plenty of room out here. The divisions include varsity boys, JV boys, which are under 16, varsity girls, middle school under 14, and 5th and 6th grade under 12. Each side is guaranteed a minimum of 5 matches, and select side teams are welcome. The tournament's capped at 8 teams per division, so jump on to dfwrugby.com and register today. That's dfwrugby.com for the Boswell Rugby Best of the Southwest Youth Rugby Tournament registration.
And to that, we'd like to thank the Boswell Rugby Club, its coach, Mikey Patterson, the faculty sponsors, Melissa Baker and Julie Goritzka, the IT staff here at Boswell High School, David McCombs, Kirk Murdoch, and Coach John Avinshan. They've been wonderful hosts, so pleased to have them with us. And there is Campese being helped off the pitch.
And referee Green stopped that up pretty good. You know, he's a masseuse, and so he knows what the injuries, he's a sports masseuse, so he understands what such injuries sound like when they happen on the pitch and what they how serious they might be.
Yeah, you never want to speculate in situations such as this, but not a good sign. Campese unable to come off the field and play under his own power. We'll get you information on his injury as it becomes available to us, but right now Dallas on the wrong side of their 22-meter line.
Bolton's not happy with his bobble there.
Pittsburgh David Campese.
KC, they've got to be happy. They've got this possession now.
That'll be Tucker Shaw coming on for Campese. Shaw wears the number 21. He will be taking over the fullback spot. Grant, we mentioned that Boswell Youth Rugby Tournament, something I know you very involved in, youth rugby, high school rugby here in the state of Texas, and the growth of it just amazing.
I didn't even know until we got here this weekend that Boswell had a club with 25 kids on it on the men's side and 10 or 11 on it on the girls' side. I mean, that's amazing. I could talk about the growth of high school rugby in Texas all day, and it just blows my mind how quickly it's springing up.
One of the fastest growing sports in the country at any level, youth, high school, club, collegiate. The Blues still looking for their first try. They've been able to come up with 3 points via the kicking game.
Blake Beatty was definitely stepping into space there and trying to find his way, but he was just denied short. And Dallas is dinged for not releasing the tackle at contact. Mercer's going to find touch and give KC. Now, remember, this is probably KC's best chance to score a try, because one of the things they've been steady at all day is their lineouts. Got another injury on the field to another Dallas Red. He's being looked at by several attendants.
The injury bug biting the Reds in the past few minutes. There is the aforementioned player. Again, big thanks to Glass Phillips and Murray, one of our corporate sponsors, a Dallas law firm providing full range of legal services. Again, Glass Phillips and Murray, excellence with cost-effective results. GPMlaw.com. So Dallas having to go to that deep bench. We mentioned earlier they have a lot of players on the reserve list.
They've got a lot of players here today that aren't even on the list yet. They just didn't make the 23 for the day, and they're here. They're working the tournament.
Baylor Scott and White Sports Care, again, our official sports care provider. Big thanks to them as our sports care sponsor of this tournament. You can find them at BaylorHealth.com/sportscare, or those of you who prefer to talk to someone, 1-800-4BAYLOR. You mentioned all the players from Dallas Rugby Club as the injured players back on his feet, getting a well-deserved round of applause, I should say. And I think that's the great thing, is to see all the Division II, Division III players out here supporting the D1 side.
Yes, yes. That's Chris Hopkins, the tight head prop for Dallas. As we can say now, Shrek has left the building. Not the best take for KC in the line out, but they did get possession.
Effective, maybe not what they were looking for, but still with it are the Blues. Still looking for their first try of the game. Out it goes to Clark. And Dallas finds themselves with it. An errant pass ends up with the Reds. Oh my. Bowling through
Upton
was Big Upton, the loose head prop, taking Blues with him. Thought about getting it quickly back into play, did Cummings, but he's going to.
Is that Upton, or is that? I think that was Scott McAvoy that actually barreled up on that run. The replacement for Chris Hopkins.
Yeah, my apologies. That indeed was. It was not Upton. It was McAvoy. And McAvoy making his presence immediately known. Take another look at it here. Back it goes. There's Big McAvoy. 1 blue, 2 blue, 3. And finally drugged down. Mercer, oh, nice touch. Cutting through. Blues starting to find holes in that Reds defense. Over the 22-meter line goes KC. Back to Mercer. Moving quickly. Parkenstrudel. Mercer, the grubber kick blocked.
That's Bolton with the pickup of the block kick.
Both teams electing to keep it on the ground right now.
No advantage gained to anyone by the bobble on the Reds.
Just over 15 minutes remaining in the contest. Still 22-3 in favor of Dallas. It has been a defensive stalemate here in the second half.
Now the Reds' Spencer Cameron's slow to get up, but he's up now.
And surprisingly, the heat not taking as big a toll on Kansas City as I would have anticipated. Now about 72 degrees and still humid. See a lot of tired players out there on both sides. But this is the make or break it point of the game. Just 15 minutes left, and this is where you really see the fitness levels. Packs come together, scrum for KC. Moved quickly by Clark. Mercer intelligently got a boot to it, knew he couldn't get a hand to it. Oh, good work on the far side. Coming through was Weber, and Weber in for the try.
Well, he's not quite in for the try.
Oh, now he is. My apologies. He over the try line.
At one point back there, the Blues player knocked it on, and Scott Green had blown his whistle, but everybody else kept running.
Well, I was like everyone else. I was just watching the action. I was like all the Blues players, not listening to the whistle of our referee, Scott Green. My apologies.
But that was a nice run by Weber. He fended off John Moore, who's a very strong player, and then stepped him, which is not something you often do. So.
Yeah, nice sidestep there as he had the stiff arm and a complete run. Strength, speed, all combined. But, well, as you said, the whistle negating what would have been 5 points for the Blues. It's been that kind of afternoon in a lot of aspects for Kansas City. Frustrating, unable to take advantage of those opportunities.
That's Sal DiMartino coming on for the Reds, wearing the number 24, going into flanker.
The first time we've seen DiMartino today as he immediately gets into it. That grub kick blocked. Picked up by Cummings. Cummings with it. A bit of space, but no help. No one back there. Cummings through two Reds. Cummings still on his feet, drugged down just short of the try line. What a run from Casey Cummings. Out it comes. Going through.
That's try time to the Blues.
And grounded by the Blues. The big man barreling through as they come up with their first try of the match.
And the kick is good. That's going to bring it Dallas 22, and Kansas is going to slim that lead down to 10, with 10 points on the board.
Another look here at the run by Cummings that set up the Blues try.
It's Jaden Lang on the run there. Cummings is in support over here.
Oh, my apologies.
That's all right.
Indeed it was. So Jaden Lang with the number 18. Cummings wears that number 12.
Now we've only got 11 minutes left. The injuries, yes, the injuries to the Reds have really seemed to take something out of them, and the Blues are trying to take advantage of that.
Almost counterintuitive. The Blues, the team with more energy, they're the ones on the front foot attacking right now, even though they have fewer numbers, a shorter bench, and would imagine the heat and humidity affecting them more than the locals.
You'd be amazed how that that confidence of going forward actually gives you the burst of energy you need to keep it going.
Well, as you said, try time. It's one of those things.
Oh, that was just.
Oh, here again to Lang. Lang tried to offload it. He was looking for Mills. Stays with the Blues. Lang has been an inspiration.
Matt Ben-Ami with the brilliant pass to Lang, man. He really opened that up. Lang had the angle, but Ben-Ami, you don't see a tight head prop making passes like that all that much.
Mills, the big boy, here rumbling, drops it off to Cummings. And Cummings slammed to the turf.
Spencer Cameron had to let him down easy there. He had him picked up and almost parallel.
Mills with it, shakes off one red tackler, offloads it. KC playing inspired are the Blues. They're saying 10 minutes left. That's plenty of time for us.
We can come back if we want to. You know, I've got to say, looking at all the players out there, Mills really seems to be the spiritual leader of the Blues drive forward. Since he has come on the field, he's really started driving.
There is a Dallas player down on the Blues defensive end being attended to by the training staff. Play continues, a chance for the Blues. Can they draw within a try?
That's Gus Holt, who's been a hammer for the Reds all day long, who is coming off injured for the Reds. Cummings, with what would have been an easy take, has knocked it on, giving the Reds a chance to regroup and bring on a replacement for their number 12.
You see Cummings very unhappy with himself, knew he should have done better in that situation, but unable to field the kick cleanly, and the knock-on gives the Reds an opportunity. Big line out coming here. No, I think they're going to scrum it up. Indeed they will. So scrummage coming for the Reds. Out it comes, tried to get rid of it.
Slater with the,
now Slater
over the back finds Bolton.
Behind the back pass, and Bolton, time and room. Bolton over the midfield stripe looking for support. Still Bolton shows off his wheels. Bolton over the 22-meter line and drugged down.
Bolton showing a little bit of his Quade Cooper there.
What a run by Bolton.
And there's another time that we're going to see Scott Green go to his pocket for Cummings this time.
There is the dealer. Strange though, I think he only has 2 cards in there. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to win any poker hands with that.
He's going to be calling Cummings there for a cynical, not releasing tackle. And with 7 minutes left, this is probably going to be something that can hurt the Blues. Cummings has been all over the field, and if Rob McDermott and Blake Bolton see an opening anywhere, they're going to see it right there on that left wing for the Blues.
Will this give the Reds the opportunity they need to take that emphatic lead to close things out? Line out for the Reds. Bobby Cannell. Now the maul, no, goes to the floor. So come out of it with the Reds. Charging forward. Good organized defending by Kansas City. Spinning into it is Bolton.
John Morris taking the touch.
Moore,
by Weber.
Yeah, no room there. As soon as he received the pass, there was somebody there was a blue right in his face.
You know, Morris is a speed man, but Spencer Cameron in the back line for the Reds today, he's really been the workhorse around the field, making tackles, punching the line when it needs to be punched. The Reds really got to like what he's done today. He looks a bit beat up with 5 minutes left to go.
Grant, we remind our viewers that these two teams are going to be back in action less than 24 hours from now, so whatever knocks they've picked up, they're going to have to either get back in playing fashion. But that's the thing about rugby. You're always playing with a knock. No one is ever 100%. Offloaded, all right into the hands.
Blake Bolton.
Bolton in the right place at the right time. And Bolton says, thank you very much. I'll take that in.
Yep. Mills not real happy about making that pass. I think he's more unhappy about nobody being there to catch the pass that was in his jersey.
Well, that was the thing. You saw Mills. He looked back. There's somebody. He was looking for a teammate who should have been there. Instead, it was Bolton. We take another look here. Mills turns around the pass right to Bolton. But credit Bolton. Good, quick play. Had his right hand up. Was able to catch it and simply in for the try. And you've got to imagine with 4.5 minutes remaining, that may well do it. Give Dallas the lead they need to come out victorious.
It's definitely going to be difficult for Kansas to bring back 17-plus points in 4 minutes, given the way the play's gone. But crazier things have happened.
Chance to make it a 19-point lead. Bolton, right down the middle.
Scored 3 tries with conversions in the next 4 minutes. Is going to be a difficult ask for KC.
But what a game, what an afternoon it has been for Blake Bolton.
It has. Blake Bolton's had a game. He turned it on right here at the last, in the later part of the second half. Really brought his step into play. The first part of the game, he's just passing, letting everybody else do the work, and now he's well rested. He's going to make a couple of runs to the line and make the Blues pay for it.
We take the opportunity again to thank our sponsors, doing such a wonderful job, and without them we would not be able to bring you this broadcast. So thanks to them and everyone here at Boswell ISD, our host on short notice. But wouldn't you know it, just come rugby time, the sun comes out. It is a beautiful day. Anticipate more of the same tomorrow. Back into the hands of Beatty. Beatty still with it.
That's Clark.
Weber shows his speed. Oh, beautiful offload there. What a pass from Weber. And it is grounded. The try for the Blues. And ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. This is not over yet. What a play from Weber. 2 Reds dragging him down. Had the wherewithal to get the pass off as we take another look.
He brings Moore back inside. He's got 2 tacklers on him, and then he makes the offload to Lang coming on at pace. That's just brilliant play from Weber. Tucker Shaw, as much as he tried, he just wasn't going to be able to push him into touch. And Jeremy Nelson, credit the Reds for staying with him and trying to keep the conversion from happening. But, man, that was just brilliant play from the Blues.
What a run. What a pass. Beautiful heads-up play there from Weber, and Lang did the rest of it. As you said, Blues unable to convert and still trailing by 14 now after the try. Less than 2 minutes remaining. The Reds, for every punch they've thrown, KC has thrown a pretty good counter.
John Moore threw his body on the line like he always does in that restart, and he's coming up slow for it.
We've seen a lot of injuries in this match that will certainly affect tomorrow's games for these two sides. Again, at 11 a.m., we will have these same Reds of Dallas Rugby Football Club as they will take on Metropolis, and then at 1, the Blacks of Austin in the St. Blues of Kansas City. Reds being extra careful with the ball. They do not want to give it up with such little time remaining. No, they have a sizable lead and under a minute left.
What they want to do right now is just maintain this possession, not go with any 50-50 passes. Stick with their pick and jam game or get it out to the backs and just make the steady ones. That's a 50-50 pass. So
the broadcaster's curse right there. As soon as you say something, it happens inevitably.
That knock on by the Reds by DiMartino. And we're playing to Scott Green's clock now. And he's taking a look at it, so he knows right where we're at.
As always, the referee is the official timekeeper. We keep the 80 minutes on the scoreboard and here in the booth, but the actual time kept on the field by our referee, and he's the only one who knows just how much time remains to the second. James Clark. The Blues unable to come up with it. Now the Reds. Is there time for one more scoring opportunity for Dallas? Here to the near side, pressing forward. Pass back, good movement, and what a tackle there. Parkenstrudel.
Parkenstrudel decided he's going to come on this game and make an impact, if nothing else.
Lang, he has been spectacular as a ball carrier in this match.
You got to wonder why he didn't start this match.
That is a great question. I have a feeling if he's healthy, he will certainly be starting tomorrow. He's added another dimension for the Blues.
And a big man in the midfield like that, it's hard to take down.
Weber shows his speed. Very elusive is number 13 for Kansas City.
And Reds tackle their Blues into touch.
Again, just a matter of seconds, most probably remaining, maybe a minute at most.
Scott Greens still says there's enough time for a line out. Weber's been dangerous on that outside all day. You got to credit John Moore and Rob McDermott for keeping him bottled up as much as they have.
Yeah, he's kind of a player. If he gets the ball in his hands, you hold your breath. Lang. Oh, what a pass. Lang to Beatty. Beatty looked to kick it forward to himself. Mills with it, the big man.
Yep, but that was knocked on by Beatty.
Indeed, the call knocked on by Beatty. And Mills, another one who's been really influential today for Kansas City. And there is the final whistle. Dallas takes the game 29-15, the final, over the Blues of Kansas City. Our second game in today's third round of the Rugby Gold Cup Championship.
Not as emphatic of a win as the previous match, but Dallas got to be happy with that. You know, that's a 5-try win, or 4-try bonus point win, so they've got to be happy with getting 5 points out of this match.
Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you here on T5 RDG. And Grant, looking ahead to tomorrow's games, we have Dallas and Metropolis at 11. What do you anticipate in that matchup?
Yeah, Metropolis is going to bring a whole different game tomorrow than they brought today, and we're going to see something different out of them. Dallas, they had a lot of players hurt today, a lot of key players. They've already got key players hurt or out of their lineup that they needed anyway. So Dallas is going to have to dig deep, and they're going to have to really find something to stop that Metropolis team from charging ahead and seeking some. You know, Metropolis isn't going to want to go home with 2 losses. And they're just not going to be satisfied with that. And they're going to be seeking just just to win tomorrow, nothing else, just to win. So Dallas is really going to have to reach deep and get fixed tonight so that tomorrow when they come out here, they can take on Metropolis and maybe get 2 wins out of the weekend.
Our fourth and final match of this weekend's competition, that will pit Austin against these same Blues of Kansas City. And I think the same thing, Kansas City, not a short trip. They're going to want to get a victory for Austin, a chance to take home the first ever inaugural Rugby Cup Championship.
You know, Kansas City's going to play spirited, and to their credit today, they turned it on at the end when it didn't seem like they had much, and they're going to need to play with more heart than they played with today in order to beat Austin. Austin Blacks are on a roll right now. They basically have the lead here, and for good reason. So if the Blues want to bring anything to beat the Blacks with, it's going to have to be something really special.
Again, we thank our sponsors, Glass Phillips and Murray, Mosquito Nix, Baylor, Scott and White Sports Care, and Pabst Blue Ribbon. We will take a quick break, and we will be back with our post-game wrap-up interviews from coaches and players. So don't go anywhere. On and off the pitch, I should say, you have to play less than 24 hours from now. So the same question, how do you foresee that match going on such short rest?
Yeah, well, actually, we spring forward an hour as well, so it's 1 hour less than bed, and we're up first tomorrow morning at 11. So, yeah, we've really got to suck it up. We've given a few guys a run out who haven't played in the ones so far in our league season, so it's a good opportunity for those guys to put their hands up for the rest of our season. And we were close against Metropolis up there in Kansas, so we're looking forward to that game, and we won another W.
To that point, your coaches attribute a lot of your success to the depth of your roster, both in D1, D2, and D3. Would you agree that that's made a huge difference in your side?
Yeah, it has. It's first season for us with the D3 team. Those guys have gone really well. They only dropped a couple of games. You know, we've got 70, 80 guys sometimes down at training on a Tuesday and Thursday. Our seconds last year went all the way to the National Western Conference. It's, you know, really a great squad that's come together, and it just helps us to back up when we've got injuries and when we come and play 2 games back to back like this.
Well, we'll let you get to it. Your rest and recovery. Best of luck in your match tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, the final, Dallas Reds take the victory over the KC Blues. Our second and final match in today. We will have 2 matches on tap for you tomorrow, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. right here on T5 RDG. Hope you'll join us for both of those. Coming up tomorrow, the 3rd and 4th round of the Rugby Gold Cup Championship, the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship.